Wait a minute. This might work. We did it.
Did we finally do it? That took a while.
You might want to get yourself in the shot. How's my hair?
That's beautiful.
We apologize for being late. This is a lot more difficult than it was last time we did it, and I don't understand why. We've got to use OBS now, apparently. I never had to use that before. I don't know. Who's in the chat?
Hey, paisanos.
Hey, paisanos. All right, it must be working. There's a massive delay. I don't remember it being this delayed last time we did it.
No, there wasn't. But we're trying to beat the coronavirus.
Cheers, bro.
With our Corona.
Corona.
So,
that's how you beat coronavirus.
That's how it works, everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's up, Phobie1? What's up, Iraq?
Iraq 1114.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? How are you guys passing the quarantine time? What are you guys playing?
Yeah, what games are you playing? That's a good question. What games are you playing since you can't leave the house? That's crap. I'm leaving the house all the time.
Yeah, I am too. You left your house today. You're at my house.
That's true. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's how I got here, right? So, what's up, Firespin?
Firespin Gaming's in the house.
Nice.
Yeah. See if the delay is how bad it is on your phone, just for kicks and giggles. I don't know. We didn't have this kind of delay last time we did this. It's a huge delay this time.
We're not experts at this, in case you didn't figure that out.
No,
we're just kind of figuring this out as we go along.
If you watched our 30-second mentally retarded live stream that we attempted about a half hour ago, you know. Airrock 1114 is playing Symphony of the Night. Great choice. Amazing game. Showing up.
5 people.
Yeah, turn that down. Ooh, that's
Yeah, there's a delay. Oh well, that's fine.
What are you gonna do?
It don't matter. That's fine.
Gives us a little bit of time to think.
Yeah. So tell us what you guys are playing. Airrock's playing Symphony of the Night.
I just said that.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
No, this guy's paying attention.
We're not really professional here. Einhander on PS1. Wow. Going way back.
Never played it.
That was a Square Soft game, wasn't it? I believe.
Phobie1's playing Civ 2 on the PS1. Nice. Going back. Very, I guess, a relaxing game to play when you got a bunch of time to kill. I hear a lot of people playing like Animal Crossing and SimCity and games like that where you can't die. So
right. Yeah, and the new Animal Crossing just came out, or is coming out soon?
It just came out. A lot of people are really excited. You guys aren't 6 feet apart. Nope. Never will be.
What are you going to do, tell on us? All right. Yeah. Look, I told you, this gives us immunity from coronavirus. Yep. It's science. I don't have time to explain it. But
so, Firespin Gaming, how is Einhander? I've never played Einhander before.
I had never played it either. I'm pretty sure it was a Squaresoft, like, RPG-ish kind of game, or am I thinking of something else? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't have the foggiest idea.
Square made a ton of games for PS1.
That's true.
Like, they started making, like, fighting games. They were just, like, they got carried away. Not 6 feet apart. Well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. What's up, Game Changer? Late night. Well, it's not really late here. It's 7:36.
7:30 on the West Coast. I don't know where you are, but I've been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. I've gone through it before.
Solid,
it's such an amazing game. I played the first and the third ones. I think the second one is the best in terms of like modern Tomb Raider games. I like it better than the Uncharted games personally. It's really good, and it's really cheap. You can get it for like $9 if you look around. But don't do that. Buy it at garage sale for even less.
Yeah, they did Bushido Blade. Yeah, Bushido Blade. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, they just, I don't know. As soon as the PlayStation came out, Squaresoft was just like, ooh, cool, CD-ROM technology. And they just, like, hit the print button on their games over and over again. They made tons of games for PS1. North Carolina. Yeah, it's a little late over there.
Yeah.
10:30 over there. It's Saturday night. You're good, right?
I've never been to North Carolina. How is it out there?
I've never been there either.
I don't know much about it. Raleigh's there, right?
Raleigh. the people that I know from there have like a southern accent. Well, to me, it sounds like a southern
It
accent.
does to me too.
But to them, like, they don't hear anything.
So are people? I know like college basketball is really big in other parts of the country. So are people like super upset that the season just abruptly ended and there's no tournament now? Like
Yeah.
here in Seattle, I don't know. There are some college basketball fans, but like generally most people just don't care out here. So
Yeah. I mean, people care in March when they're doing their brackets and stuff, but they don't really care any other time of year.
no, they don't.
That's how it works.
But I know in other parts of the country it's huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We're just chilling. We're just killing time. Both of us are still working. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm working from home. They sent me home. I got my computer, and I can do all my work that I need to do at home. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
83 degrees today. Whoo! Yeah.
It never gets that hot here in March, but I mean, it was
nice today.
It was really nice. Probably 55.
Yeah.
Sunny. It's about as good as it gets for this time of year.
Yeah. It felt pretty good.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good chance to catch up on some Netflix shows that maybe like I'm going through season 3 of Castlevania right now on Netflix. I just kind of forgot about it, and people live for basketball. Yeah, I know they do. I know North Carolina is like in that basketball belt.
Yeah.
Like Kentucky, Indiana, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like it's like a religion out
So
there.
when you garage sale in North Carolina, is it just a bunch of basketball games that you find? Is it just a bunch of NBA Live 98?
NCAA, blah, blah,
NCAA
probably,
99?
yeah.
Like, is that how it works?
Yeah, we don't even have like an NBA team in Seattle anymore. So
Working from home, unfortunately, I consider myself very fortunate to be able to work from home.
yeah, I do too.
I mean, a lot of people don't have that option. So, and I was already working from home a lot before all this, just because it's easy to do, and I have that option, and I'm very fortunate. I feel very lucky. I know a lot of people are suffering right now who don't have that option. So
Yeah, it's really terrible. I mean, this is unprecedented what's happening. But
yeah,
I think most people are. I don't know. I see the good in people in times like this, and I don't know. There's landlords who are like allowing their tenants to skip rent for a month, and there's like
Yeah.
even the government was like, hey, we're extending tax date by 3 months or something. So. Same here in Essential Business Worker. Yeah. Freezing in Ontario, Phobia One Gaming. Yeah, I mean, you live in Ontario. What do you expect?
Yeah, come on.
I feel like you signed up for that when you
knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
They don't call it the Great White North for nothing. Do they call it that?
Great White North.
I don't know. I've heard that somewhere.
I don't know. I've never been to Ontario.
Can't bring a freight train home with me.
Oh, Fire Spring. So you work on the freight trains, huh?
Wow.
That's interesting.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like one of those jobs that, your grandpa used to do. Like, they just, train jobs were so common a long time ago, and they don't,
Do you get that conductor hat?
Oh, man. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's what I'm picturing, so.
Final Fantasy VII Remake demo.
Nope. So, I think it was Chris Kohler from Kotaku. He tweeted out that he started playing the demo, and it immediately just sapped all of his interest in the game, in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And he got a lot of crap for this, but he was just being honest. He said, and I haven't played it, this is just what I've read, they changed the game so drastically. They changed the mechanics, the battle systems, the menu systems, the foundation of the game and how you fight battles and whatnot. They completely changed it.
That's what I've heard.
And so I don't really have any desire to play it. I don't understand why they didn't just take all of that effort and make a new game completely. I don't know. Make a sequel to Final Fantasy VII using that same world and those same characters, whoever's left alive. I don't know. I don't really have any interest in it.
I watched a video by Game Dave, I think, and then I actually fell asleep while watching it, so I didn't watch the whole thing. But he mentioned that the turn-based battle system kind of either went away or there's a different version of that.
Yeah,
And like for me, I love turn-based JRPGs.
me too.
I love them to death.
Yeah,
And-
which is why I loved Final Fantasy VII to begin with. I loved that game. I played that so
Yeah.
much back in the day.
Final Fantasy games are what got us into JRPGs.
Absolutely.
Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy
Yeah.
3. Those are what got us into JRPGs. And I was never even a big Secret of Mana fan because I love the turn-based mechanics so much that playing an action RPG for me, and Illusion of Gaia also, it just like
It felt weird.
It just felt weird. All I wanted to do is go back and play Final Fantasy at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm still like that to this day, honestly. I'm a big Fire Emblem fan, as anyone who watches our channel probably knows that. But
I was playing Octopath Traveler today.
Oh, it's so good.
I started a new game
Oh,
recently.
it's so good.
It's just as good as I remember.
Yeah.
I love that game. The music is phenomenally great in Octopath Traveler. I looked up that composer, some Japanese guy. I'm not going to try to say his name because I'll butcher it, but it's the first thing he ever did.
No.
Yeah. That like gave him credits, like as far as like an entertain. I'm sure he's did other stuff, but it was his first like
That's great.
credit for like an entertainment product was Octopath Traveler. Like he's a young guy. He's like 30-something years old. I'm like, dude,
You know,
if I made a video game, he'd be the first guy that I'd sign up to create the music for.
you know, I think I agree with Bithead 1000 on this. Japanese people, they really are the master race. I'm serious. He said that recently, and I went,
Wait, who said that? I wasn't listening.
Bithead 1000 said that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, speaking of Bithead 1000, I have a quick story. He had a video like yesterday, the day before, where he gave away a game, like it was a PS4 game, I think, the Genesis Collection or something. And I was watching the video, and he said, "First one to email me, I'm going to give you this game." So I got my phone out and emailed him, and he writes me back, and he's like, "It's all yours." I'm like, "Sweet."
Win-win.
So I'm getting a gift from Bithead 1000. It's I think it's the Genesis Collection or something.
Is it a wallet buster?
I don't know. No, it's not. The Genesis Collection exists on every console since like the PS2, probably.
I want to say PS3, Xbox 360,
PSP.
Wii era
Yeah.
had it. Anyway, okay, great question. Are you going to steal garage sale? I am. Yes, if they're out there.
If they're out there.
I'm gonna go every weekend if
Yeah.
I can. I don't know what this is gonna look like because this is all an unprecedented situation. I don't know. Are people still gonna have garage sales? Are they gonna be too afraid to let people into their yards and their garages and stuff? I have no idea. I hope not. I assume there'll be something. How limited it is, I don't know. But if they're out there, dude,
Yeah.
I'm going. I've been waiting too long for this to not. I'm not going to let the coronavirus ruin my garage sales.
I think there's going to be fewer of them, but I'm hoping there's going to be way fewer people going to them.
Mm.
So hopefully my competition will be a lot smaller. That's what I'm hoping for. But I think there's no doubt there's going to be fewer of them because garage sale season around here is going to start in another month or so. And people are going to be on lockdown, and people are going to be all weird. But yeah, I'm with you. If I see one pop up on my app, I'm going there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get coronavirus, quite honestly. Can you imagine developing an immunity to this? You can go to Beijing and take the cheapest vacation of your lifetime.
It's like having a superpower.
I'm just going to go give high fives to everybody and lick all the doorknobs. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like having a superpower.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get it.
Gloves, mask, I've seen people everywhere wearing these masks. I don't wear them. I don't use Purell. To be honest, I hardly ever wash my hands. I just don't give a crap. I gotta be honest with y'all.
People wash their hands way too much.
It doesn't actually kill the virus.
Uh-huh.
Purell doesn't kill the virus either. Neither does washing your hands. You know what the one thing that actually does kill this virus is bleach. So if you want to like take a bath in bleach,
There you go.
go ahead. But that's the only thing that's actually going to kill this thing.
I'm with you. I don't use any of those hand sanitizer stuff. I wash my hands after I go to the bathroom like every human being should do. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you need a protective layer of germs on you. No, let me say that again. You need a protective layer of dirt to keep the germs away.
Yes. This is science, people. Anyway.
Firesman Gaming says, yeah, Jesse's a cool dude. Yeah, we all love Bithead 1000.
Oh, for sure. He's one of the first channels I started watching back, garage sale related back in the day. I wish he would do more garage sales these days. It seems like he kind of fell off of that, or maybe he just doesn't film it as much anymore. Or
I don't know. If people just mailed you free video games and you could just stay in your garage and open them up on camera,
that's a good point.
It's pretty.
I still like him. I respect him, and he's done a lot for this community. I mean, just being one of the first. I mean, whoever before BitHead, whoever thought this was even a viable YouTube channel category? I'm gonna watch people go to garage sales and see what they find.
Yeah, not many people.
I never would have even thought about that before watching him.
Yeah. And he's entertaining. I mean, the guy he's a poet. I mean,
he's hilarious.
But like, he's so poetic. He will never just tell a story about I saw some Super Nintendo games at a garage sale. He'll make a whole event out of it, and by the time you hear the story, it's like you can practically hear the screaming wife and the husband in the background because he just tells the story so well.
Yeah, he does. He's great.
Shark Attack, yeah. That's garage sales, man. I mean, around here, it's getting so fierce. Every year, I wonder if this is the last year. It's so
I do too.
Fierce.
And then last year, I had a great year, and so I'm like, I don't know. It keeps me going when I have a good year like that. But I hear you.
You mopped up the end of like August of last year.
Yeah.
You just mopped up.
I sprinted towards the finish line last year at garage sales. I had some sick days. CJR with him, I think you're right about the same time. Not sure who was first. Yeah, it was one of those two. But I think for me, BitHead was the first YouTuber that I found that was doing the garage sale stuff. And before that, like I said, it never even occurred to me that this was a thing. And all of a sudden, like, I couldn't stop watching him. I went back, every video he had, I was just like, I couldn't stop watching it.
I found him, and I found CJR, and I found Maximus Black. Those are the first three that I was watching. It was a while before I stumbled across the others. And then the Game Chasers and Craigslist Game Finds, but I feel like as soon as I found those channels, they really stopped producing good content.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Craigslist Game Finds is a thing anymore.
I don't think they are. I know I follow them on Instagram.
Well, the two guys have their own channels, and they sort of do their own thing now. And I know the Game Chasers still produce plenty of content, and I got nothing against them. And they are entertaining, but they really never find anything cool anymore.
Their videos are very polished. Mm-hmm. The Game Chasers, they're sort of that, I don't know, Metal Jesus level of quality. You can tell someone in that group is really good with video editing and like they're probably trained in that area. I didn't go to school for video editing. Neither did Phil.
Can you tell?
We're just using our phones and pointing it at stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Dude, I'm making this whole thing up as I go along on YouTube, honestly. Go watch our early videos. They're horrendous. I mean, the audio and the video. I had a GoPro at first, and I thought the GoPro would be the good way to go. But, I don't know, the quality on just... I have a Galaxy S9 phone. The quality on that is so much better. And I figured out a way to use it with microphones. So when we do our recap, we can actually have the microphones hooked up. And so the audio, I feel like, is really good. And for anyone who's wondering how to do that, all you have to do is go download a different camera app. Don't use the stock one. I use one called Open Camera. Because the stock camera app on my Android does not work with microphones at all. There's no way to get it to work. So don't go download Open Camera and just go buy a cheap microphone on Amazon for like $7. And then hook it up, and boom, your audio is going to be so much better. If you do YouTube, trust me, your audio is going to be way better. You can be across the room, and it won't matter if you got that mic hooked up. So.
Phoebe 1 prefers the more raw look. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's you kind of feel like you're watching a television commercial sometimes with, the Game Chasers or the Metal Jesus people. Like, it's just, I mean, it's very polished, but it's,
it is polished. And like I said, the Game Chasers, they are entertaining. Like, there's not...
Retro Robbie!
Retro Robbie's in the house.
What's up, brother? Didn't even show up in my sub feed.
Well, welcome to YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah, it failed us too. Apologies for the late start. We wanted to start this at 7, and obviously that didn't happen. So you didn't miss much.
No, you missed a couple of retards fumbling around on a computer trying to figure out how to get this to work.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, we're not. This isn't what we do for a living. I give advice for a living.
I'm in healthcare.
Yeah, this is not what we do.
Yeah.
But we love video games and we love the social aspects of. That just sounded retarded. We love the social aspect. I gotta stop saying that word. We love the social aspect of this hobby, and like everyone that we've met online and chat with people and stuff. It's really something that I didn't really realize would happen when we started this channel. We just started the channel because our wives were sick of hearing from us, and so we wanted to tell other people. I mean, the quality of games we were finding was so good. We had to share it with somebody.
I know, we were like, this would make such good content.
Yeah, and like I said, I would go watch the Game Chasers, and again, nothing against them, but like they were just finding like golf on the NES, and I'd be like, really? Like I just found Earthbound. I mean,
I know. Like I think back to some of those earlier finds that I had. That would have been a really fun big YouTube video.
I mean, Metal Warriors on the Super Nintendo, Shantae on the Game Boy Color.
So those two finds were 2 weeks apart.
That's sick, dude.
I know.
He would find like
I just kept doing it.
Smash Melee or Wind Waker like on a weekly basis.
Yeah, like it was nothing.
It was insane what this guy was finding.
What's up, Tatted? Hey, looking in the shadows.
Eating popcorn. Yeah. How's the coronavirus doing out there in Georgia?
You keep dropping the R word like we live in the 90s. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really shouldn't do that.
Phil is not politically correct.
No.
Yeah, in the 90s, dude. We threw that word and some other words that are not politically correct.
The 3-letter F word. I mean,
my!
In the 90s, that was just you never even thought about it.
Never even thought.
And it wasn't like we didn't have any like internal homophobia or bigotry towards anybody, but it was just your language. It was just like if you ever seen the movie Superbad and how Jonah Hill talks in that movie, that's how everybody talked in the 90s.
I know, man.
So yeah, but I know Robbie's not offended. He's got pretty thick skin, so Canada will do that to you. The Canadian winters will do that to you. I tell you what.
Sure, you have to have thick skin to make it through those Canadian winters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's everyone else doing? What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just talking about the garage sale and if it's going to be affected or not by this virus. And the answer is I hope not, and I'm prepared to go out there and hustle and grind and do what I can do. And I don't know. I can't control it. So,
look, worst case scenario, we all have to stay inside and play all of our video games. That's like the worst case scenario. That's a pretty good world we live in when that's the worst thing that can happen.
Worst case scenario, I get my Saturdays back in the summertime.
That's a good point, too.
It's been a long time since I've had, Saturdays available in the summertime.
Like sleeping in and sipping coffee on the back deck and enjoying the sunrise. I don't get to enjoy that on Saturdays in the summertime. Ever.
Yeah, I'm out 7 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. I'm leaving my house. Yeah. I don't get back until noon. And then when I do, it's like, putting these videos together for the rest of the day and all kinds. It's a lot of work.
What else we got? Canada, eh? Yeah. Hey. I feel like Canadians intentionally try to not say A now because
we made fun of them.
We made fun of them. We sort of just beat that word out of them. I don't know. But I never hear them say it.
They still pronounce about a boot.
They do.
Boot, which is, it's kind of easy to poke fun at that. But if that's the worst thing.
That's just vernacular. We have weird things like that in the U.S. too. If you go to the East Coast, you notice that.
Yeah, for sure. Like New York, like those accents up there to me are really strange.
Like, how do you pronounce the word button? Like, we say button, but other parts of the country say button or button. I noticed the ABGN pronounces it like button. I don't know.
Yeah, back in the day when we said that's so gay, dude, I'm telling you, the 90s,
everything.
These kids today who are raised in this politically correct culture of you can't say anything mildly offensive, they don't understand what the 90s were like. Dude, we did not care. And it wasn't like we didn't have any mean bones in our body. Like we didn't hate
not
anybody.
Only that, but like we grew up in an extremely left-wing political area. I went to school there, and talked like this at school in front of everybody, and nobody cared. The principal could hear you say these words, she would not care. That's just how it was back then.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the 90s. What are you going to do about it? End of boot. Yeah, pretty much. And then, like, I feel like South Park really made it cool to make fun of Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before that, it was... I don't remember...
I mean,
am I right about that?
In the pilot, I feel like they were doing that. Remember when Ike was... I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, all the early episodes, you had Terrence and Phillip, you had...
well, the movie came out in 1999. Yeah. The whole movie was about going to war with Canada.
Yeah.
That's what the whole movie was about.
That's right.
And the whole reason we were going to war with Canada in the movie is because...
we were offended by the
Terrence and Phillip movie. And then the U.S., then they captured Terrence and Phillip. I need to watch that movie again. It's so good. Generation Z, bunch of whiny brats. Couldn't agree more. Lady was offended recently when I held the door open for her as I entered a thrift store. I don't want to live on this planet anymore, Robbie.
Dude, people... I almost punched a guy in the face yesterday.
Really?
Dude, I'm not kidding. I was at the grocery store. I was in the self-checkout line, and there was a guy working the self-checkout screen, and he was having some issues. And the lady, the store employee, who's kind of standing around to monitor the various self-checkouts, she was trying to, like, help him or like, make sure everything's okay. He was so rude to her. He was verbally abusive. He literally said, I know what I'm doing. Mind your own business, you hag. He said that to her. And he was wearing a mask, presumably for coronavirus, but, like, I don't know. I wanted to punch him in the face. I was like, dude, you don't talk to a lady like that. Mm-hmm. Call me old-fashioned.
And these poor retail people now at these stores, you know what they're going through right now?
Yeah. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, she's got to sit there all day and tell people that they're limited to one bundle of toilet paper, per purchase right now. And he was so rude. I just about lost. I just about punched him in the face.
I'm done with the human race, people.
You can't treat anybody, but you don't treat a woman like that. And again, call me old-fashioned. That's how I was raised. You don't talk to a woman like that. Not even jokingly. You talk to your guy friends like that. You call your guy friends R words. You don't talk to a woman like that.
No, right? You don't. Period. You don't hit a woman. I don't care if she hits you. You don't hit her back.
Yeah.
I don't care if she talks to you that way. You don't talk to her back that way. Blame Canada. Yep. It's not even a real country anyway.
Yeah, so am I right in that South Park made it cool to make fun of Canada, or was it cool before then?
I don't know. One of the Canadians tell us.
I don't know. I love that episode where it's like Terrence and Phillip, or someone was trying to go see the Prime Minister of Canada, and they're like, how do I get there? And it was like, well, there's only one road in Canada.
There's only one road in Canada.
Like, they just simplified the whole country down to, like, there's only one road, everything is just, the people have these, like, boxy heads, and it's like...
And by the way, we love Canadians if you haven't already
guessed. Sure.
I mean, I love Canada. I love Canadians. We live in a border state. We've been there many times. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Are we still live here? What's going on?
Unable to connect to chat.
It says the chat's not working. I don't know.
Well. As long as people can still hear us, we're going to still jabber. Yeah, so I was also playing... I started a new game of Octopath Traveler, but I also started playing Celeste again, because they made another level for Celeste. And I guess this came out a few months ago, and I just kind of missed it, but they made another level. It's called the Farewell level. It's so good. If you guys haven't played Celeste, oh my gosh, it's such a fun game.
Celeste is really good.
It's a platformer. It's so polished. It's so good. I love the music. I love everything about it. Yeah, so I've been playing that. And then I started another Octopath Traveler, so that's kind of what I've been doing.
I almost decided to start a new Octopath Traveler recently. Instead, I've been playing Bravely Second. So it's the same developer as Octopath Traveler, actually.
Yeah.
And Bravely Default 3 is coming out, or they're calling it Bravely Default 2, but the second one already came out, so I don't know. I feel like that's a gray area. So I just started that, and yeah, I don't know. I keep coming down to my game collection, looking for something to play, and it's so overwhelming. And then I ended up just going back upstairs with nothing because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It still says we have 9 viewers. Can anyone chat? I don't know. If you're still in the chat, say something because our chat thing says unable to connect.
Let me see.
And I don't know why.
Right.
And I'm an R word, so I don't understand these things.
Oh, there's more people here. Phoebe1 says, my wife is a supervisor at a grocery store. She's more stressed now than when our kids were little. Yeah, I can believe that.
Oh, jeez.
But Andy, it's all about equality, right? Well, dude. Yeah, equality. Again, like, you just don't talk to a woman like that. You don't treat a woman like that. You just don't. I don't know what to tell you. Call me somehow I'm considered a sexist because that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
To me, that's the opposite. That's like holding women in very high regard, like holding the doors open for them, treating them with respect, protecting them. Somehow that makes me a bigot or whatever.
Using Chun-Li when you play Street Fighter 2.
Well, of course.
Choosing the princess in Super Mario Bros. 2. You just do these things out of respect.
I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still live. Yeah, for some reason the chat's not showing up, but I can see it on my phone here. Might need to refresh. I don't know how to refresh without turning it off. So
I don't know. I'm an R word. I don't know how to do this stuff.
Gaming Off the Grid. What's up?
Hey, Gaming Off the Grid's here.
Thanks for joining us.
We killed our beers. I know that you always... I don't know. But you got to drink Corona now. That's how you get rid of the virus, guys. So.
Yeah. We discovered the cure for that, by the way.
Who else is in here? I don't know. We got to do this the old-fashioned way. I don't know. What do you guys use to stream? Those of you do. I know Robbie does. Gaming Off the Grid. I know you guys do. Do you use OBS, or is there an easier way to do it? Because it took us 35 minutes to figure this out. And we're pretty smart guys, but it took us...
So last time we didn't use OBS.
Right.
We just used YouTube and it just click and click and like we're there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now we had to jump through all these hoops and I don't know. But hey, we're on. What you streaming on? Yeah, it's called OBS.
OBS. Everyone uses OBS for other stuff, but I don't know if everyone uses it to stream. Probably. It is super popular. Read that out loud.
Making fun of Canada is the same as making fun of any country. We are as patriotic as Americans are to the U.S., but realistically we have faults, same as anyone else. We got a fool as Prime Minister. Not going to disagree with you.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Beer sales are down because of this. Well, that's why we're trying to help.
Yeah.
All right?
Support your local brewers, or in this case,
drink Corona.
Mexican brewers.
Seriously, why would someone not buy Corona?
Because they're stupid.
Nobody really believes that that's how you get the virus. I mean, really? Maybe I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt too much, but
Well, think about this. If 1% of the people believe that, then Corona's taken a 1% hit on their sales.
But haven't they taken more than 1%? I heard it was like 20 or 30%. I don't know. Again, I know people are dumb, but I have a hard time believing in that.
I've lost faith in the human race, which I've said a number of times. So.
I like you guys because you aren't fake YouTubers. We are definitely not fake. We are a lot of things, but we are not fake.
As you can tell, we will say just about anything, and if I offend somebody, well, then you're on the wrong channel, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're not a-holes about stuff, usually, but, like, we just say what we feel. I mean, we don't want to get, like, super political or anything, because, you know, that's a good way to lose half your subs if you do that, but, yeah, I don't know, we just say what we feel.
Yeah.
And I feel very poorly about YouTube and OBS, because it took two pretty smart guys 35 minutes to figure this out, and the chat doesn't even work, so...
Tad is curious who the fake YouTubers are. Well...
I'm not going to say anything. Someone else can say something. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I have some names in my head, but I'm not going to say anything. They're out there. They're the ones that they try hard not to say anything, not just offensive, but they don't want to ruffle any feathers. They don't want a pile of negative tweets or Instagram posts or whatever to make them look bad, and they don't they don't want to like. They care a lot about tarnishing their brand, I guess. We couldn't give a crap. We don't really have a brand. We're just goofing around. We're not making any money doing this. We're not monetized. We probably never will.
I can't even use my phone to do this live stream because you have to have 1,000 subs in order to do that. Which some of you might not even know, but we don't have 1,000 subs yet. We will.
Yeah, we're 800 and something.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah,
people.
We'll get there this year.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I don't care. We're not monetized, and if I lose some subs or gain some subs, whatever.
It doesn't really matter. So yeah, we just kind of say what we think, and yeah,
everyone should do this. By the way, it's such a relief to just not really care. I don't know. It's very liberating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people we got. What, 10 people in the chat here?
The bigger the channel, the more haters you will get, regardless. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And some people, I mean, if you're monetized, I can see why you genuinely don't want to offend anybody, and you're gonna go out of your way to be super politically correct, dude. And not just with video games, but just YouTubers in general. The Twitter mobs with their pitchforks will come after you if they disagree with you on something. Remember when Colin Moriarty was forced off of
Kind of Funny?
Kind of Funny. He said one joke that I thought was funny and non-offensive at all. Was it International Women's Day or something?
It was International Women's Day, and I think his joke was something like, the
women are all out of the house.
Yeah.
Finally, peace and quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. It was like, oh, okay, I get it. And dude, the Twitter mobs came after him.
Greg Miller came after him.
He was forced to resign.
Greg Miller was like, you're either going to apologize or you're off this show. And so he's like, fine.
Yeah.
I'll do my own thing. I don't need you guys.
Yeah.
That really pissed me off. That was the only reason I watched Kind of Funny back in the day was for Colin Moriarty. And plus the last name of Moriarty. I mean, jeez.
That's pretty sweet.
How awesome is that?
I know. It's like Sherlock is your arch enemy.
Right?
Right away.
Yeah. Yeah, the Twitter mob will come after you. I personally don't care. In fact, no, should I even say this? No, I'm not even going to say it. Just let it rip. That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't care about the coronavirus. Just, I don't know. I honestly, I hardly ever wash my hands. I know they're telling you to wash your hands a lot. It doesn't kill the virus, people. It just doesn't. If you want to wash your hands in bleach, okay. Maybe. And Purell, dude, okay. Can I just say, I'm sick of smelling Purell everywhere I go. Man. It's disgusting. It doesn't work, okay? It doesn't do anything. They did a study a few years back, and look, I'm in the healthcare industry. I'm not going to say where I work, but I'm in the industry. I have been for a long time. A few years back, they did a study specifically to see if Purell prevents the spread of the norovirus. So that stomach flu that's very contagious, that gets passed around, and the next thing you know, your whole household is throwing up. They wanted to know, so they got volunteers to purposely get the norovirus in their study to see if Purell actually did anything. Didn't do anything.
Shocking.
They did this study and they said Purell does nothing to prevent the spread of norovirus. You think it's going to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, which is even more contagious than the norovirus? Not a chance, people. I'm so tired. Everywhere I go, I smell Purell now.
It's not just Purell.
It doesn't do anything.
It's every hand sanitizer in the world. The bathroom where I work has like 12 hand sanitizers all lined up next to the faucets now. And every time anyone comes back from the bathroom, I got to smell that crap. And it's all over the office. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's gross. And it doesn't actually work.
I would argue it has the opposite effect. People are bathing in Purell right now everywhere they go. And their immune system is now kind of shot because of this. You need to be exposed to germs.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have a certain amount of bacteria on your body to fight this stuff off. And
I'm not a doctor, but I should be.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions in the chat?
I don't know. You see the guy who was price gouging for hand sanitizer in New York. I saw like a headline and I didn't click on it, kind of thing. I don't know. Hand sanitizer is stupid and it doesn't work. So if someone wants to make money off of that, I don't know. Knock yourself out. I don't really. It doesn't bother me. Like, I mean, if I had a pallet of hand sanitizer in my garage right now,
Yeah.
I'd probably be selling it on OfferUp and making a profit. I don't know. A good chance to make some money on the side. I don't know. I just don't care. It doesn't bother me.
I use Irish Spring soap. I'm not using Purell. I'm just not using this stuff.
Yeah. The Attorney General crackdown. Well, what law did he break? You know?
Capitalism?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They can crack down if they want. I mean, I guess the government right now is just kind of making up their own rules and doing whatever they want.
They kind of are.
Historically, you have to break a law to get in trouble with the law, right? Selling Purell on the side, like, I don't know what law he broke. I don't know.
I tell you what, though, I haven't had any success yet, but keep your eye on OfferUp and Craigslist. And not that I want to take advantage of people during this situation, but there's going to be people out there who have to sell their game collections now. They have to pay rent.
Oh, yeah.
They have to raise money. And, you know, you're going to find someone. I saw one today. It was an unbelievable deal. It was $100 for a GameCube and 20 games. And
Dang.
I didn't see it until I'm sure it was way too late. And it was a little far from me anyway, but it's one of those things. If it had been close by and I had seen it early on, I'd have jumped all over it. So, yeah, keep your eye on OfferUp. Normally I hate OfferUp, but I guarantee you people are going to be out there unloading game collections right now to raise money. So do them a favor and buy their games.
I mean, I'm not saying take advantage of people, but, you know.
Yeah, don't lowball them if they're already asking a low price. But
Right.
But if they're asking a low price, I mean, look, they got to pay rent. It is what it is.
Yeah.
What else we got? I can't see his phone.
Oh. Gaming off the grid. See you later, bud.
Later.
Can't price gouge during a state of emergency. It's a law. Okay, so if he did break a law, that's what I was asking. Like, what law did he break? Up to a certain dollar percentage during Hurricane Sandy, people got fined for doing it with generators and fuel. Okay, again, if you break a law, then you should be held to that. I didn't realize that a law had been broken. But
I'm a doctor, not a lawyer.
Yeah, that's true.
I should be a doctor.
Yeah. So I guess if I had a pallet of Purell, I'd have to really be secret about it. I'd have to find a guy who knows a guy.
You got a laundry.
Who can move the... Yeah. Remember in True Romance? Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, True Romance is an awesome movie, by the way. But this guy...
It's fantastic.
He comes across, like, I don't know, $1 million worth of cocaine, and he's not a drug dealer, but he goes across the country, and he finds, like, this actor guy who knows a movie producer who's really into cocaine, and, like, you know, he was like, he met up with a guy, and the guy was like, so why are you only asking, like, $200,000 for this?
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You're getting the bargain of a lifetime.
He says, I'm a minimum wage guy, and I just need some money.
Yeah. That's what I would do if I had a pallet of Purell. I'd go find that movie producer who's really into this stuff.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen True Romance?
True Romance.
So True Romance was one of Quentin Tarantino's first movies. He wasn't allowed to direct it because the studio didn't yet really know who he was.
Yeah.
So he wrote the movie.
So they went and got the Top Gun director.
Sure. So he wrote the movie. That's why it feels so Tarantino, because he did write the movie. He just didn't direct it. So it's not on his filmography as a director, but it's every bit as good as Reservoir Dogs, or it's probably better than Jackie Brown. I mean, it's top notch.
Yeah.
It's not a chick flick. Don't let the words True Romance deter you from seeing this movie. It's not a chick flick.
Because I think I did for a while. And I remember I didn't see it till probably late 90s. And by then I was already like in love with Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Yep.
And then I think it was Alan, one of our mutual friends. He's like, dude, you got to see True Romance. True Romance? I don't know, man.
It's so good.
But
It's got Christian Slater in it. Christopher Walken is in it briefly. Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Who else is in it? I think Patricia Arquette. Balky Bartokomous.
Oh yeah, Balky from Perfect Strangers.
I can't remember his real name.
Bronson
Pinchot. Yeah. And then who's the guy that died recently that was in Reservoir Dogs?
Oh, not Michael Madsen, but that other guy.
I don't know. Someone else knows. But yeah, True Romance is so good.
Yeah.
Does anyone else agree with us?
No one said anything yet, but I think they're silently agreeing because that movie's clutch.
You've got some time to kill, people. Go to Amazon and rent the movie or whatever, and thank me later.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who's in it. Gary
Oldman.
Yeah.
Yes. He was the pimp.
Yes.
And he was a white dude, but he was trying to act
Gary Oldman's
like a
best
black
role
guy.
ever.
Oh, dude. It was so good.
Oh, it's a very violent movie, too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I want to go watch True Romance.
Yeah, he was the pimp. And
he was.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And Christian Slater went back to him basically just to mouth off to him, which
yeah. And
really
then
wasn't
they
very
ended
smart.
up in a conversation, and that's how we ended up with the briefcase full of drugs.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't give it away.
Oh, I don't give it away.
Go watch the movie.
Yeah, come on, guys. Chris Penn. Yes.
Chris Penn, that was the one.
And Gandolfini. Yeah, Chris Penn, he was in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, man, he's such a great... Well, God rest his soul, he's not with us anymore. But, man, what a great actor.
Yeah.
Just everything that he said was just such a joy to listen to. He's one of those guys that Tarantino spotted him from a mile away and was just like, I want that guy in my movies.
Yeah. He was great in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, he was wonderful.
Yeah. I love listening to him and then Michael Madsen talk to each other. They talk to each other about their old parole officers, and they each knew exactly what the other one was talking about. It's like, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
who's your PO? Scagnetti.
Yeah.
Scagnetti. Oh, man, he's such a mother. Oh.
Okay, what do we got here? Back to video games. Just noticed Real Game Hunter removed all videos from his channel.
Really?
Why would someone do that? Like, did he do it, or did someone else? Did YouTube remove them all? I wonder. I don't know.
Maybe he just sort of ended his YouTube career, just like who's that guy who had the home videos?
Oh, the iRetro guy.
Yeah, iRetro Gaming. Well, now Pixel Game Squad does all their videos. But I don't know. I get it. Some people just get to a point in life where it's like the third kid came along, and it's like they don't have time for this anymore.
Yeah.
I understand.
But to scrub all of your content is
it's a little weird.
A little weird.
We don't have kids, so we got plenty of time for this stuff. So.
Ooh, here's a good question. Firespin Gaming, PS5 or Xbox Series One X?
Okay.
That is a mouthful.
So I've been a PlayStation guy for this whole generation. But I got to say, I've been hearing rumors about the next generation, and one of the big rumors I've heard now is that Sony is going to acquire 3 properties from Konami: Silent Hill, Castlevania, and a third one. Why am I not remembering the third one? Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, snap.
So already I'm leaning PS5 because, Naughty Dog, Sony first party stuff. Microsoft just doesn't have this, but man, if they can acquire those Konami IP, holy crap. They're going to obliterate Microsoft in the next generation.
So I've seen the specs for the Xbox Series One X. I think I said that right. What a dumb name. Come on, Microsoft. You're better than that. Actually, you're not. The specs on this thing are insane. I don't know if you've seen this. And from what I read and what I understand, and I watched a couple of videos on it, they are pitching this next Xbox as, 100 times more powerful than the Xbox One. 0 loading times. 0. And for open world games, which are kind of the big thing these days, 0 loading time, going anywhere, fast traveling, turning the game on, you're playing it right away. So as I'm reading all this, I'm thinking, wow, this sounds really cool. And then I have to remember, quote me on this, okay? This tweet will age well.
Okay.
Quote me on this. Microsoft has a long history of making promises with their hardware that don't turn out to be true. go back the original Xbox. I was reading a Game Magazine article from like the year 2000, and they were talking about, and at that time it was called Project X or something like that, and this kind of mysterious video game that Microsoft is making, and they pitched. Microsoft came out and said all the stuff that this system is going to do, and all the, oh, you're just going to have one per household, and it's going to be automatically connected to every TV. This is what they said. And the list, I forget the list. I'll have to dig it up. They went on and on about all this crap that the original Xbox is going to have. It didn't have hardly any of that stuff. So Microsoft has a long history of just making stuff up when they're pitching their new hardware. So when I see this list of specs and all this great things that the Series X is going to do, I am very skeptical. I don't believe them until I see it.
But, I mean, the no load time, I mean, Sony's already said the same thing because they're both using solid-state drives right now for the next-gen systems. And so, like, we do expect that. Like, I do expect the next-gen systems to be a big leap, and it will probably blow us out of the water. And I'm not a day-one purchaser of either one, but based on the generation we're in now, I think PlayStation has destroyed Xbox, and I expect the same thing to happen in the next gen. So, yeah, my money is going to Sony. I don't know about you.
I haven't decided yet, but yeah, it's likely. Honestly, I like the Xbox controller better than
I do too,
than the PlayStation controller. I always have. I just think it's the perfect controller.
But you can't play God of War with it, or Horizon Zero Dawn, or Uncharted. I mean, there's so many reasons.
I know. That's the one thing I like better, I guess. Is Xbox played out since you guys live right next to Microsoft? Xbox played out. Not sure what you mean by played out.
It's definitely an Xbox heavy territory around here. Like,
sure.
You wouldn't know that PS4 has been killing Microsoft in this generation if you lived here, because you'd think it was maybe dead even. And in the last gen, the 360 versus the PS3, if you didn't know any better and you just went to garage sales, you would say that 90% of all video games were 360 games.
Oh, easily.
Easily. I mean, I find 9-1 or more 360 games to PS3 games.
Yep, for sure.
Around here.
Yep.
But if you look at the numbers overall, it was about even.
They're pretty close.
I think there may be more PS3s sold than Xbox 360.
Yeah, it could be right.
But yeah, it's a very Xbox heavy part of the country.
Well, also, like, when the first, I don't know if it's still like this, but when the first Xbox came out, they sold first-party Xbox games at the Microsoft store for $10 each, which was insane. I mean, Nintendo never did that at their store, at their employee store. They never sold anything that cheap. I think they were $40.
Nintendo store, I've been there a few times. 20% off all first-party software, and 5% off first-party hardware.
Yeah, but Xbox games were $10 each. And I remember, because I knew people back in the day that worked for Microsoft, and they were just like, Halo 2 just came out. They were like, hey, I can pick it up for $10 for you if you want. I was like, that sounds a lot better than $50 in the store.
It was amazing. For sure. And I would get my gold memberships through a hookup. Because it was like, you're right, it was like $10 or something.
It was nothing.
Where it was like 50 or 60 in the store.
And since so many people around here work for Microsoft, I think a lot of people bought a lot of games, not because they were gamers necessarily. The games were just so cheap.
Yeah.
You know, they were just like, hey, I can get 10 games for $100. Like, sign me up.
Too. I've come across a lot of games that have that sticker that says Microsoft store purchase or whatever.
Employee purchase, a ton. They're everywhere around here.
And I've never seen it on a Nintendo product, but they put it on the outside cellophane on Nintendo games. They put that sticker on.
Yeah.
So the moment you open it, it's no longer sealed, and that sticker's gone. So it's possible that I've come across that for Nintendo stuff around here, but you would never know. Unless they kept it sealed, you would never know that that's what you're buying.
But again, they're hardly any cheaper at all at the Nintendo store. So it's like,
I don't know, 20% off is pretty decent.
But it's not nearly
you're
what
right. It's
Xbox
It's
was.
not what Microsoft
And
does.
so I don't think a lot of Nintendo employees were just buying 10 games at a time just for the sake of it, just because they can.
Most Nintendo employees, in fact, I would say the vast majority of them are not gamers and have no interest in games. I've been there. I've toured it before. I had a friend that worked there for a long time. I've eaten in the cafeteria a couple of times, and I've looked around. I can tell you right now, they're not gamers. You can tell a gamer by looking at them.
They're not.
They're not gamers.
They don't care.
They're good at marketing, I guess. I don't know. We got any more questions in the chat?
Firespin is leaving. All right,
come on, don't leave us.
So I guess he meant, are you tired of it? Tired of hearing about Xbox. I don't really feel like I hear about it any more than anybody else does around the country. I mean, I know a lot of people that work at Microsoft, but it's a crazy company to work for. I don't think I know anybody right now that's on the Xbox team. I have in the past, but I don't know. People get bounced around from one department to the other. And almost everybody I know that works at Microsoft ends up at Amazon.
They do.
And then they end up somewhere else. No one stays there very long. Already back. Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back, Firespin Gaming.
Yeah.
How was your sleep? I don't know.
Yeah, we cured Corona while you were gone.
You're welcome.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to garage sales. I hope the virus doesn't affect it. I want to go fishing this summer. I hope the virus doesn't affect that. I don't think it will, but I didn't think we'd be where we are right now. So
no way.
I can't really predict the future. I mean,
2 weeks ago, I was telling everyone, you guys are all crazy. This is going to blow over so fast.
Yeah.
Don't fall for this stuff. And, here we are. The entire West Coast is practically on lockdown right now. I mean, I never would have guessed. I would have lost a lot of money if I would have bet on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a crazy time. But like I said, dude, I don't know about your backlog, but my backlog is enormous right now. So, yeah, go play some of those games. Go watch The Walking Dead on Netflix. I mean, just a nice pandemic show to watch.
After about 4 seasons, I got to be honest, I was done.
So, yeah, The Walking Dead, I think I gave it through 5 seasons. It was right around the time, who's the guy with the spiked baseball bat that would beat the bloody...
Starts with an N.
Negan.
Negan? Yes. Yeah.
Right about the time he came onto the show is when I fell off.
Well, my problem with the show was that the formula was just rinse and repeat over and over again. It was like, group of people, they find a new town, it works out for a little while, and eventually they're forced out of it and they have to go somewhere else. And they just kept doing that. And it was entertaining for about 4 seasons. And then I was just kind of like, all right.
What happens when they run out of gasoline? When they run out of bullets? I mean, these are things that should be happening.
Right.
In that scenario, in that world, these things should be happening. But instead of exploring that, or when their health goes bad, there's no doctors. Like, they didn't explore that. They just rinsed and repeated.
Where are you getting all these shoes? Aren't your shoes wearing out?
Right?
Like, little things like that, they don't really talk about, but I think would be interesting.
I think so, too.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Fly fishing? No. When I said fishing, I didn't mean fly fishing. I meant Super Black Bass on the Super Nintendo.
Obviously.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant, we live up in the Northwest, and salmon run around here.
Dude,
so we're salmon fishers.
Once you've been salmon fishing, I'm sorry, you can't fish for anything else. All these nothing against fly fishing. I'm sure it's a blast, and I want to do it someday. But when, we go out near the ocean, and we get these 20-pound king salmon, it's really hard to reel in another fish when you've reeled in a king salmon.
Yeah. And once you've eaten king salmon, it's hard to eat anything else.
It really is.
Yeah. Anyway. What upcoming games are y'all looking forward to?
Are there any upcoming games?
Major Gaming 101. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, gosh. Doom Eternal, I'm tempted. I think it just came out. I really liked the last Doom that came out a few years ago.
Yep,
I had it on Switch. It played great on portable. It played great on the TV. It was a great game. I don't know if I'll get it right. I'm definitely not going to get it right away because I can't bring myself to spend $60 on something that I know is going to be worth $10 in like a year.
I will get it someday, just not right now.
Yeah.
When it's $10, I'll buy it.
Yeah, when it's $10, I'll buy it.
Beyond that, though, we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in, 6 months?
It's been a while.
Now that Animal Crossing is out, we literally have no idea what Nintendo is going to come out with for the rest of the year. Like, we don't know. We don't have any idea. And I know that Sony's got The Last of Us 2 that they're working on. I don't know if that's coming out this year or not. And then the Final Fantasy VII Remake we talked about, which I'm really not that interested in. And gosh, what else is coming out this year? Someone remind me what else is coming. What's the game by the one developer?
Oh yeah. There's Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's
what's the Witcher 3 developer that I'm having a brain fart. They're making a new game. Something 2047. Gosh, I don't know. I'm stupid. I don't know what to tell you. I had too much Corona virus.
Anyway, Retro Robbie says my backlog is impossible too. Yes,
it literally is impossible. You could literally like play video games all day, every day, and if you want to finish each game, like that's a lifetime. I mean, for a lot of us.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. I mean, look at some of these Super Nintendo RPGs. I haven't played a lot of them. But, it's probably 40 or 50 hours for one of those things. Like,
better get going.
I could play all day, every day, and it would take me a week just to finish one of those games. And I've got like 900 games in my collection, so do the math. I mean,
we have salmon in Pulaski, New York. Treble hook, baby. Yeah. So the regulations.
Dude, I wish.
Yeah. It's so heavily regulated here. You're not allowed, when you fish for salmon out here, you're not allowed to use treble hooks. You're not even allowed to use barbed hooks. You have to use a hook with the barb completely snapped off.
You have to take pliers and you have to pinch the barb to the point where it's completely useless.
Yeah. It's highly, highly regulated around here. Salmon, they have to be a certain size. Depending on what area you're in, you can only keep hatchery salmon. You can't keep wild salmon. It's heavily, heavily regulated. It drives me nuts.
The Indian tribes in our state,
they have a lot of pull.
They have a lot of pull. They tell the politicians exactly how they want the laws to be, and the politicians cave every time, and they say, okay, fine.
Every time.
Here you go. As a result, we can only catch king salmon until about the first week of July, and then that's it. Can't catch them anymore. Got to throw back all the native silvers. It's a mess out here, dude. I don't know. In New York, is it any different? I mean, geez, I'm ready to move to New York if it's easier.
Well, this isn't the fishing channel, but you got
we should start a fishing channel.
GameStop lost their business license in PA for staying open. Well,
like
GameStop.
I was watching FU Game Crew last night or the other night, and he was talking about this. So GameStop, they've said that they're going to be open during this pandemic, right? Because they consider themselves an essential business. And the guy in the video, his point was, well, how dare you, and blah, 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 and this is so horrible. But then he admitted, like, if GameStop closes their doors right now,
they're never going
to reopen. So I'm like,
I don't blame them.
I don't really blame them either. It's unfortunate, or maybe it is fortunate. I mean, if you work at that job, maybe you just feel fortunate that you still have a place to go to work and get an income. Yeah. But at the same time, if they close their doors, dude, they're not reopening.
Yeah.
They're already in financial trouble. Huge financial trouble.
They have one foot in the grave as it is.
Yeah.
Retro Robbie says, never buy games right away. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, garage sale. So another question we've had several times is, like, people want to see interesting videos of us going to pawn shops and places like that, or game stores, and there are a lot of those in our area, a lot. But, there's a lot of channels that do this a lot, that hit up game stores and buy games and stuff. But, like, for me, and I know for you, we're really only interested in garage sale prices. I don't want to pay retail for anything, and as a result, I just don't really go to these game stores unless I'm going to trade something in because I'm lazy.
There's a GameStop that's right next to a grocery store that me and my wife go to a lot, and like there's also like this arts and crafts store right next to it, and so frequently she'll be like, hey, I want to run in here real quick, and I'm like, okay, I'll go to GameStop. I never buy anything. I go in there thinking, yeah, I want to see if there's anything on sale. There's never anything on sale. It's just a joke. I mean, there are games in there that are like 2-3 years old, and they're still asking $59.99 for them. I'm just like, dude, I can find this on eBay for next to nothing. Why are you? yeah, I never buy anything.
And
from
the
GameStop.
used game stores too. I mean, they're everywhere around here, and and a lot of them charge okay prices, but an okay price is about eBay. I'm not paying that. I'm just not.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $100 for a Chrono Trigger. I'm gonna wait until I find it at a yard sale.
Yep. And in the time machine that I went in, he finds it this
That's
year.
right.
So
Phil says I find one this year.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
yeah. So it's like, I mean, I could just go on eBay and just buy all this crap, right?
Mhm.
I mean, but yeah, that's not what I want to do. It's not fun. I mean, is eBay collecting fun? I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I have the money. I could go on eBay and put together a complete run of Super Nintendo games. I could do it by tomorrow. I mean, I really could. I mean, how much would that cost?
I mean, really, realistically, there's only a handful of games that are wallet busters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
But what fun is that? I don't know. I don't find enjoyment out of that.
I agree. The fun for me is finding the game in the wild.
Exactly.
That's where even if I was a multimillionaire tomorrow, I would still do this. I would still go to garage sales and I would still look for good prices. Like,
Yep.
There's satisfaction there. It's
For sure.
And you guys go to garage sales, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's super satisfying.
Yeah.
Got any more questions in the chat?
Yeah. Scroll down. We've already been to
Have we? I am scrolled down.
that.
I just don't think people are interested in us anymore.
You can't use trebles either. Okay.
No, I mean I've used treble hooks in like little lakes where ain't no game wardens around.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But I've seen people do it in the rivers here during the salmon runs, and I'm not going to mention where they're from, but they're not from the U.S. and they just line up the river, and they're all using treble hooks. And I've seen the game warden go down and just talk to every one of them and tell them not to do that. And then he comes back, and then I'll talk to the warden and be like, "Are they all? What was the story?" He's like, "They're all using treble hooks." I'm like, "Did you do anything about it?" And he's like, "Dude, what can I do? There's like 40 of them here. Like, what am I going to do?"
And he's game warden. He's not INS.
Right.
So what can he do?
There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And they probably don't even know the law, to be honest. And it's a stupid law.
Well, I get the law. They don't want you to kill. Excuse me. They don't want you to kill a non-target fish that you catch inadvertently. And treble hooks, you're gonna kill anything you catch. It's 3 barbed hooks. Like you kill everything, and they want you to release non-target fish and not kill them. So I get the law.
I get it, but in this river, there ain't no other fish that are running right at that moment. There just isn't. But I don't know, we should stop talking about fishing. Let's talk about video games. What system do you guys hate that everyone loves?
This is a good question. What do you hate what system do you hate that everybody loves?
I gotta say, I almost never play the Wii or the Wii U. And I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I love Nintendo. And the fact that they came back so strong with the Switch and have just made so many great games warms my heart. My heart is just melted all over the floor all the time with Nintendo now. But man, there was a whole decade plus where it was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, you gotta do this to play Zelda. You gotta swing your arm around, and then the whole tablet thing. And it's just like, and I hear people say how much they love the Wii U. That's like the hip thing to say. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
The Wii U had a decent virtual console.
It did, yeah.
I ended up getting a lot of like old Game Boy Advance games on that virtual console, and it's fun playing those games on a big screen and not stuck on the Game Boy Advance. That was mostly what I used the Wii U for, was just virtual console.
It's also a great Zelda machine. You can play the Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, both remastered. You can play Breath of the Wild on there if you want to.
Yeah.
And then you can play, the Game Boy Advance ones, probably a bunch of others too. I mean, you could just put in Skyward Sword if you wanted to. I mean, it's backwards compatible with the Wii, so it was a good Zelda machine. But beyond that, I mean, there were no Metroid games. There were no Fire Emblem games.
And I've said this before, but I really don't like the Wii. It's just, ironically, it's like the Nintendo's best-selling system of all time. But it was just everything was lowest common denominator crap, and I just wasn't interested in any of the games. There's a handful. Okay, the Mario Galaxy games are good. We all know that. Beyond that,
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know, man. It's tough. I'm not into it. Um, we've said this before that I think the Dreamcast is the most overrated system of all time.
Yep.
But it wasn't a terrible system. It was just overrated. N64 is also overrated, though.
Yeah, we've already talked about that. But like my thing with the Dreamcast and with most Sega consoles is it just feels like it's just an arcade machine, and for some people they just really like that experience, and that's fine. I'm not knocking that if that's your thing, but like by the late '90s, my taste in gaming had evolved to where like racing games and skateboarding games and snowboarding games and fighting games and all that kind of stuff just didn't really interest me. Like I wanted to play role playing games and adventure games and stuff like that, and that's why the PS1 was so interesting. And there were even a handful of games on the Super or the 64 that I really enjoyed during the late '90s. But man, the Dreamcast didn't do anything for me.
No. I had the Dreamcast. I had probably, I don't know, half a dozen games, maybe more. My favorite game was Skies of Arcadia. I put a lot of time into that. That was a really fun game. But I had Crazy Taxi. I had a Resident Evil game. Um, I had Sonic Adventure, which, dude, I hate Sonic Adventure so much.
It's awful.
It's a terrible game. I had Phantasy Star Online, which a lot of people liked that game. I didn't get it. I gotta be honest. I don't know what they saw. Maybe they liked the communities with the online thing because it was kind of new at that time, having a console online. I don't know. I couldn't connect with it. It didn't connect with me. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's
I will say this: the PS3 is another system that it's not a bad system, and the library of games is good. But if you have a PS4 and an Xbox 360, there's almost no reason to play the PS3 because the good games were all ported over to the PS4,
that's true.
and the multi-platform games are all on the 360. I don't know. I have a PS3 and I have, I don't know, 15 games. I literally never play it and probably never will. So Airlock1114 says probably pick the PS1. Love the RPGs and a few others, but PS1 had a lot of shovelware too.
Yeah.
And system's undesirable. Don't hate on me, LMAO. No, we don't hate on you. The PS1 is another system. To be honest, I don't play it very much in 2020. I really don't. It's rough.
Those games don't hold up very well. And here's one of the problems is at a certain point, Sony actually put out a mandate to their developers that you had to make 3D games. Like, they didn't want anything 2D. They wanted to stand out from the crowd. They wanted to stand out from everybody else. And so you had a handful of, Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Klonoa. You had a handful of 2D platformers.
Rayman, Oddworld.
And some of those still hold up, some don't. Oddworld doesn't hold. Dude, I tried playing Oddworld recently.
Unplayable.
It is unfreaking playable. But Symphony of the Night super holds up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they put too much emphasis on the 3D, and it was still kind of a new technology, and everybody was still working out the kinks. And as a result, yeah, a lot of those games just aren't very playable. And because they had all this memory to work with, all of a sudden these RPGs had these long cutscenes and these long dialogue sequences, and I just remember playing games like Xenogears and Final Fantasy VIII, just sitting there like looking at the screen, like pushing the button to go to the next dialogue or whatever.
You can take a nap and come back if you wanted to.
Is this over yet? But yeah, I hear you on the PS1. Not my favorite system.
So Retro Robbie says the 2D PS1 RPGs were so much better than 3D. Like, which ones are you talking about? I have to admit that I just don't know enough about those. Because I'm definitely interested in playing like a 2D RPG.
I think Wild Arms was mostly 2D.
Mm-hmm.
Ark the Lad. Not EverQuest. What was that? Evergrace? Evergrace? Am I making that up?
I don't know.
Ever something? Um,
Yeah,
they made like 3 Ark the Lads. I never played any of them,
no, I don't either.
but they must have sold well enough to make 3 of them. I don't know.
I don't know.
Um,
Yeah, coming off of the Super Nintendo RPGs was rough for me to go to the PS1, playing Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, and Chrono Trigger, and and then going into Final Fantasy 7 and Xenogears and I don't know all the full motion videos that they did in those games and
yeah.
the load times and the everything just felt so clunky. I had a really hard time with it. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I ended up rage quitting most of those games.
So Robbie says Dragon Warrior 7, Alundra, etc. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not a Dragon Warrior guy. I just I've tried to get into the series. I've or Dragon Quest, I guess. I've played a couple. Recently, Dragon Quest 11. I've tried to get into, and I can't get into it. I don't know. It does not grab me at all, and a lot of people really love it, and that's great. But I don't know if you've ever played any of them.
I have to confess, I've never played a Dragon Quest game. I was a Final Fantasy kid, and part of the problem with Dragon Quest is that by the time we got Dragon Quest 1 in the United States, they called it Dragon Warrior, they were already up to 3 in Japan. And 1 is really rough. If you've ever tried to play Dragon Warrior 1 on NES, dude, it is like, it was made in 1985 and it shows. It's really, really rough to play.
I tried to play it one time, and I literally couldn't figure out how to get out of the first room.
Yeah.
And then I turned it off, and I never played it again.
It's rough. But in Japan, they were already on the 3rd one, and the series was always way more popular in Japan, hugely popular in Japan. But I think that's because they kind of dropped the ball. Enix at the time, they didn't give us the right ones. I don't know.
Yeah, like, dude. I know we've talked about our love for old Final Fantasy games, but man, when you played Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on the Super Nintendo, it ruined so many other games for us. And I know some of you, sure Robbie, really love Illusion of Gaia, and I'm not knocking that game, but man, I played Illusion of Gaia after playing Final Fantasy 2 and 3, and it was like I couldn't do it.
Well, to me, Illusion of Gaia was more similar to Zelda than it was Final Fantasy. It was a
Yeah.
kind of an action RPG kind of thing, and it was okay. I remember playing it back in the day, and I had fun with it, but it wasn't one of those games I revisited over and over again, like Zelda or Final Fantasy. It didn't grab me that way. I don't know, the story, the characters, it was all just kind of okay, you know, to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to play Final Fantasy 2 and 3.
Breath of Fire, now that was a great game. Um, so I actually just started, I think Breath of Fire 2
Okay.
for Super Nintendo, because it's on the Switch, Super Nintendo,
Oh, is it?
whatever, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not super far into it, but
I started
we'll see.
I started playing Breath of Fire 2. I found it at a garage sale 2 summers ago, and I played about 3 hours of it, and then the save file deleted because the battery didn't work anymore. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But I had fun until then. I mean, it seemed I would have played through it.
Here's a good statement.
Yeah.
So Cecil is the best Final Fantasy character of all time. Close second is Cloud. Change my mind. I don't think I can change your mind. His character arc, I mean, he literally transforms into a different person. He goes from like regular person to a paladin. Like, name a better character arc in that. I never liked Cloud, I gotta be honest. Cloud annoyed me. I didn't like his character arc. I didn't like it when he went through that stage when he was like catatonic and it was like drooling and couldn't say anything. I thought that was weird. I like Chrono a lot from Chrono Trigger. That's not a Final Fantasy game.
I'm going to say Terra. I mean,
Terra's
what she went
solid.
through, the brainwashing that the Empire did to her in the beginning of that game,
Yeah.
and what she had to go through and sort of find herself and then blame herself because she did some horrible things, really horrible things, and she had to come to grips with that and come to grips with realizing it wasn't her fault. I mean, her mind was being controlled by somebody else. So. Plus, the music that they wrote for the character of Terra is just outstanding. I mean, we could talk about Final Fantasy 3 if you want to start talking about that. I mean, We can talk about it for the rest of the night. So you might wake
Well,
up in the morning and we're still talking about it.
He brought up Cecil, which is Final Fantasy 2/4,
yeah.
but yeah, I love Final Fantasy 2/4. I love that game to death. I've played it a million times. I will play it again. Cecil is awesome. Every character in that game. I always liked the twins. I liked how
Twins are awesome.
Twins are awesome.
Yeah.
Palom and
Param.
and Porum, whatever. I love their sacrifice when they save.
Dude, I still shed a tear. I still shed a tear every time. Every time I play through that.
So the walls are enclosing like the Death Star garbage, right? The walls are going like this, and these two characters they cast a stone spell on themselves to stop the walls from crushing the entire party. They sacrificed their lives to save their party. That was a fantastic moment. Unfortunately, to the game's the game got a little carried away with this concept of sacrificing yourself to save everybody else. They overused it a little bit. They kind of just
they kind of did, but then in Final Fantasy III, they literally never did it, except for the one unplayable character, blanking on his name.
Edward?
No,
not Edward. Leo, General Leo.
General Leo, yeah. So I could have used a little bit of that in Final Fantasy III.
Yeah.
Maybe they felt like they did it too much in the second game. Because I enjoy that kind of thing. It's kind of like where television went about 10 years ago. Suddenly, they were like, if we start killing off main characters, people like really love that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And before you know it, like every show is just, the Breaking Bads and the Walking Deads and Game of Thrones. It was just every single week a main character was getting killed off.
Yeah, I know.
And I like that. It keeps it fresh. You have to keep it fresh.
It wasn't just main characters getting killed off. It was main characters are like heroically sacrificing themselves to save the rest of the party. And they did it with the twins, but then they did it like, I don't know, 2 more times. They did it with Sid, the engineer, and then I think they did it again.
Tella? I can't remember if Tella...
I think it was Tella.
I think it was.
He cast a spell that was too powerful for himself.
Right.
Yeah. So they did it like 3 times, which...
Didn't they all come back in the credits, though?
They were all there at the end. I know. I love that game so much. That's a great game.
Shadow's my favorite Final Fantasy III character. Yeah, Shadow's awesome.
Shadow is interesting. So, his dog, the Interceptor, like, what a great name for a dog, first of all.
I named my dog Indiana, but still.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Shadow, the first time I played through that game, I didn't save him.
I didn't either.
On the floating continent. Because I didn't know to wait until there's 5 seconds left. And if you don't save him, he dies. I mean, he's gone.
Never see him again.
You never see him again. But if you wait for him, he'll come back and he'll join your party in the second half of the game.
Even when you know that and you're waiting for him, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
it really is.
You see that clock counting
8,
down,
7, 6, and you're just like
hurry up, Shadow!
Over it. Yeah, but he will come back. If you wait for him, he will come back.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a he. I thought it was a female character the first time I played that game. It wasn't until I saw some of the artwork later, and I'm like, oh, that's a dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, it's just a great character. Great music for the character too. It sounds like it belongs in an Old West movie or something.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
For sure. All right. Should we wrap this up, Sam?
The train scene in Shadow was awesome. I think it was the train. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're thinking of Cyan in the train.
Cyan. So, yeah, Cyan's one of my favorite characters of all time. Because
so good.
His wife and whole family was, like, recently killed. And so he goes through this ghost train plot going through and killing the ghost. And he's at the end of it, he's able to kind of make peace with his deceased relatives.
He sort of gets to say goodbye to them on the other side, and
it's very, very sad, and you really feel for the guy. And of course, he spends the rest of the game like, "Hey, I'm going to avenge my family," And
that's his thing. Yep.
He's got a good sword, and he's a good fighter, and like that's awesome. I love that kind of revenge, like you killed my family, and I'm gonna.
Shadow is just mysterious because he would just come and go. He'd just leave your party. He'd be like, you know what? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then he would leave, and you'd be like, well, I guess I'm not going to see him again.
Yeah.
And like 10 hours later, he just shows up, and you're like, oh, hey, Shadow.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 3 is just
In the
amazing
second-
game.
In the World of Ruin, you remember how you find Shadow again?
Yeah, he's just chilling. Is that when he's just hanging out at that bar?
No.
No. Remind me.
He's in the Coliseum.
Oh, that's right.
You have to bet a certain item
That's right.
in order to face him. And then when you do face him, you're just like, "What's up, Shadow?" He's like, "Hey." And he comes back to your party. It's awesome. All right.
Well, we should probably wrap it up because my battery's about to die. I didn't bring the cord down. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, you got an hour
An
left.
hour and 6 minutes on my battery?
I doubt
I
it.
don't know.
Anyway.
Any more questions? You want to answer one more question?
I'm getting tired.
Are you? I don't know. I live here, so.
Shadow of Final Fantasy is the Raphael of TMNT.
How so?
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that. I gotta be honest, but
Like in
I'm
the
getting
movie,
tired.
like in the movie TMNT, when he sort of leaves everybody and he says "damn" all the time.
I don't remember that movie.
It holds up.
Really?
Yeah, but go watch it. I know
man.
it sounds crazy. Anyone else agree with me? The first TMNT movie holds up. AVGN did a video on it too. He agrees with me. I'm sure he watches our channel. So, hi James, if you're watching.
I'm sure he does. Anyway.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We don't have anything else to do.
We don't have coronavirus.
Nope.
So, yeah.
Not gonna get it.
Not gonna get it. Thanks for joining us.
So.
Good chat.
Okay. Well. Upward and onward, guys.
Bye. Are you sure you want